delicious and like full of life.
It's beautiful.
So a lot of people know that the food that we eat is problematic. And when I say a lot of people, I mean like everybody else, even me.
Yeah, definitely. I
We
think
know
everyone is aware.
in our minds that there is something fundamentally wrong with what we're eating and all of that. But I think we're also addicts to an extent. You found discomfort and pain and suffering in the way that we all eat and began a journey to change your life and change your food and all of that. Please talk to me a little bit about that journey, because not everybody finds it doable to just be like, that's it, no more bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can, for some it can. It doesn't have to be a difficult journey. But it's a journey nonetheless. So my journey started off with getting sick, working in restaurants, and the diet that I was eating at that time was predominantly meat-based, very little vegetables and even less fruit. This led me to a very miserable space. Found out the food could change things for me, and just left all of that behind. Left that whole life behind, and decided that I was going to travel South Africa.
You were you just not available to, okay, let's just eat something else? Did it have to be a whole life change?
I'm quite an extreme person.
Okay.
Very extreme. So I wanted to be on the forefront of. I felt like I just unlocked this huge conspiracy theory, and I felt like there was a wave coming, and I wanted to be on the front of that wave.
Okay.
So I left all of that behind. I resigned from my job, sold everything I owned, and I moved to the Transkei. I moved to Pondoland, where I was hoping to discover the philosophy of Ubuntu. I felt like Ubuntu could, like a lot of our problems arise from the fact that we live in a society that demands constant running like a rat on a circle, on a wheel. Where the Ubuntu philosophy, you're born into the village and you have your land, it's there already, it's always been there. The house is there and you can build a new house with the resources that are on the land. And the community comes together and stands together. So that's what I went, ultimately I was looking for Ubuntu, and then how does one live off the land without money, essentially. And that's what I found after a long journey. I found that in the Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
I found 2 villages that were functioning on those principles, and they still are. And I learned a lot, and I still do visit them on a regular basis and keep touch. And yeah, basically that's what I want to share with people. It's Ubuntu.
And it's, when we say Ubuntu, we very quick to say it's about umuntu ngabantu, but it extends to beings. A being is a being by other beings. And I want to say that because when you think about the plight of bees right now, we need them for our food to grow, but we are also growing food that kills them. I don't even know what to say about that. I'm reminded of something you said about this planet. Tell that story, please, about a planet who's, yes, you
So for the
that.
listeners, there's a book I'm reading, Love Letters to the Earth by Thich Nhat Hanh, a phenomenal being, recently passed. And he basically just, so many things, but when we harm bees, we're harming ourselves. Like directly, indirectly, on all the different levels. I mean, there's so many different ways to put it out there, but when you harm anyone, you first harm yourself, because you have to, before you even take action to harm something, that thought arises within you, and it lives within you, and then you take the action from it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So the story that I was keen to hear again was how, is it from the book, when you say that if you told me that there is a planet...
Oh, yeah. That wasn't from the book, no, that was from...
Yes, tell me that.
So Lebo asked me, what was your question? You said, you read a post where I said that it's quite a shame that our education system doesn't teach people about
Yes.
the importance of water and food.
Yeah, yeah.
So I flipped that around and I said, let's imagine now for a second that there's another planet out there with this race of beings on it. And these guys have encountered a serious water crisis on their planet. They've run out completely of fresh drinking water. They've also got a serious food crisis on their hands because they've run out of real food. They have E2O2 and this and that, but they don't have real food anymore. They've got a serious air crisis on their hands. And what they're doing is they're training and teaching their youth how to do everything except make clean water, real food, and clean air. So that's basically what we're doing on Earth right now. We have these schools and all these beautiful children in that really, really want to learn and get out of the classroom and experience this beautiful planet. And if they want to do that, then we label them as ADHD and we give them medication and make them sit at the desk and learn about economics and stuff that really isn't real in the scheme of things.
Made up things.
Made up things.
That if we actually did have an apocalypse tomorrow, most people wouldn't know where to start, what to eat off the ground, what to...
We have, the apocalypse is here.
I want to talk about how, for instance, growing your own food enhances you on different levels. You know, the act of growing one's own food. How does that enhance his life?
Food, firstly. So what is fruit and vegetables? It's first a flower. The flower harvests sunlight and turns it into a food that we can then digest into our system. So we're consuming processed light, basically.
Wow.
Exactly. So the effects, in all the ancient texts, we see the importance of light in so many different levels, spirituality and for the body and the mind and everything.